Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Big Time Fantasy Football. You're here with your hosts, Nick and Zach. Today, we got another banger of a video. We are going over 4 league winners in fantasy football. So, either players that we believe are going to win your league based on their pure talent, or guys that we think are going to way outproduce their value in their current ADP. But before we get into all that, please help us out. Give us a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We are on our way to becoming big time, and we need your help. So, without further ado, Zach, do you want to get into your first league winner?
Yeah, and we always mention this at the end before we get into that. We are doing dynasty roster reviews, so send us over your rosters. We want to review them. We want to do a video with it and give you some great feedback to win your league. So let us know. Let us know what you got going on. Yeah, but I will get into my first guy. Like Nick said, there's kind of two different ways to look at it here. It's just a guy that is just so dominant that he's going to win you your league, or a guy that is more of a value pick that can outproduce. I did one of both. I'm going to do my first one. The more obvious one is Christian McCaffrey. He's just an amazing, such a dominant running back. He outscored the RB2 by 102 total points last year, which is just a huge gap. And then there was just a bunch of guys bunched up behind that. But obviously, with him outpacing everybody like that, just having him on your team is just, you're going to win the running back race every week, at least for your RB1. So a guy that he's a win now guy. There's no way to go around that, but still he's a win guy. So a huge asset there. Someone I'm high on. Someone that a few years ago I actually took 101 in our startup for a dynasty league, and he's led me to a championship and a highest scoring season in separate seasons. So a guy I love, CMC.
Yeah, definitely no complaints there. Pretty much the consensus 101 in fantasy football for redraft leagues. I think even after this year, he has the potential to stay very relevant, stay in that top 3, top 5 running back conversation for the next couple years. So definitely a league winner there. I feel like a lot of people don't, they talk about him, but they don't talk about him enough, just how dominant he is compared to the rest of the league.
Exactly.
Um, yeah. But getting into my first guy, it's going to be Kyler Murray, quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals. He did have a couple down seasons the past 2 years, but his first 3 years in the league, 2019, 2020, and 2021, he was a top 12 quarterback each year in fantasy football, and that is including a QB2 season overall in 2020. He provides so much upside with his rushing game. The Cardinals just got a huge weapon in Marvin Harrison Jr., one of the best receiver prospects we've seen in a long time, and has that pedigree to elevate Kyler Murray and the whole offense. Um, uh, don't forget, they also have Michael Wilson in that offense, a guy that I really liked last year coming out, that was talented, a little under the radar, but he showed that he has potential as well. And then
Jay McBride as well.
Yep, Trey McBride, excellent tight end, definitely in the top 3 to top 5 of all the tight ends. And then Kyler is only 27 years old. He's been around for, I think it's going into his 6th or 7th year this year, but obviously he had the major injury, not this past year, but the year before. And so he's another year removed from that. Didn't look like he lost a step last year, especially towards the back half of the season. He could still run, move in the pocket, scramble a little bit. So I'm expecting a big year out of Kyler. And right now he's the QB 11 on Keep Trade Cut. So you're getting tremendous value for a guy that could finish as the QB 1 or definitely top 3 potential there. What do you think?
Yeah, no, Kyler is a guy that's definitely exciting. Like I've been saying in some other videos, another year removed from the ACL, he should only look better. Offense should take a step forward with Marv there, as well as the returning pieces. So definitely a guy to get excited about. A guy I'm sure a lot of people are down on just because of the injury. And he looked good last season coming back, like relative for an ACL, but didn't light the world on fire. So not too high on a lot of people's boards. So someone that you can draft or go acquire for a relatively low cost for his upside with that rushing and his arm. So, but I'm going to go to my next guy, which is also quarterback, kind of in that same bracketing where Kyler Murray is, except I went with Trevor Lawrence, someone that I'm was high on last year compared to consensus. I'm even higher on this year compared to consensus, just because for a few reasons. He finished as the quarterback 13 last year with missing a game. That was the first game he's ever missed in his being a quarterback. So college, high school, any of that. So that's not something that's likely to repeat. If you follow the trends of history, um, I think that drops were a big part of what happened. They got some new weapons, so hopefully that is not as much of a problem this year. And then, like I said, he finished quarterback 13. He's also ranked as quarterback 13 on Keep Trade Cut, which I think he should be higher in my opinion. I think he has a better chance to finish top 5 than some of the guys ahead of him, at least for this next season. Caleb Williams is the QB8. Obviously, it's because of his youth. I think that Trevor Lawrence has a better chance to finish higher than him. Jaden Daniels as well. Again, he's a rookie, so he's higher on this dynasty list. But speaking for this next year, Trevor Lawrence, I think, definitely has a higher chance of top 5. Purdy is kind of in that same range. I think he's a little behind him, but definitely I'd give Trevor Lawrence a top 5. Purdy's kind of more of a safe guy. I think Trevor Lawrence has way more upside in that regard. And then even guys like Love and Murray, they're both 10 and 11, while Trevor Lawrence is 13. I think they have good of a chance, maybe even better than those guys to finish as a top guy. So Trevor Lawrence, he's a really underrated runner. I don't think people really realize how much he can really actually move. He has a cannon for an arm. They're revamping that offense. So if it does all work out, then I think he has a shot to really boom this year.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence, another later quarterback that you can take that does have that upside for the QB1. I think he showed a lot of grit last year. He fought through some injuries and played through some injuries, so that even brought his numbers down even more. So I don't think that was his true showing last year, and we should see this year. And I went with my next guy. I went with his running mate, Trevor Travis Etienne, running back for the Jacksonville Jags. He finished last year as the running back 4 overall in half PPR scoring. And over the first half, he was even better than the second half. First half, he averaged 18.3 fantasy points a game. And over the second half, it was around 11 or 12 points per game. And that was when the offense started to sputter and Trevor Lawrence was injured, playing through injury, and then ultimately out. But I do like the upside of Travis Etienne to finish as a top 2, maybe top 3 running back this year. And for the value, I think he's going around RB7. And there's a major gap, at least in drafts right now. I think the RB6 or 5 is going around pick like middle of the 3rd, and then you get to Travis Etienne, it's getting into the back end of the 4th or the 5th. So I think just the value alone and the upside he shows. Also, the offense should take a step forward with Trevor Lawrence being healthy. They added a couple new weapons, so he should get more efficient carries. And last year they drafted Tank Bigsby. He really had issues fumbling, didn't really look good. And reports that I'm hearing is that he's still not looking good this year. So I think Travis Etienne could be the workhorse in this offense again. And, bring fantasy owners to the promised land, hopefully get him a chip.
Yeah, Etienne, someone I'm high on. I got him as in a steal of a trade a couple of years ago, so I've kept him on my roster. Someone I followed closely. I've watched a lot of Jacksonville games just because he's been playing, obviously. So, yeah, I didn't realize he was even going that late. So if you can get him anywhere near that price, that's an absolute steal for a pretty locked in RB1. He's going to be a top 12 guy with, like you said, top 3 upside. So, ETN, someone I like. And as I said, too, that whole offense should be hopefully taking a step forward in general. So, if they're in the red zone more, that's more red zone touches for the running back. That's more chances to score. So, yeah, pretty straightforward there. Good list of guys here. I like all 4. I like where we went with it. We both went one quarterback, one running back. Seems like we always, we don't plan, but we always do something very similar, So I guess we're just on a similar mindset here at Big Time Fantasy Football.
Oh, yeah. Same page, baby.
Yep. But, guys, thank you for tuning in. Do you have a league winner? Do you think these guys are league winners? Do you have a disagreeing opinion? Let us know. And also send us over those rosters so we can review your roster. But don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, helps out a ton. But thank you. Let's have a great day. See you later.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.